Resident Evil 7 looks to be something quite different from the previous style of games we've seen in the Resident Evil series. While not much is known about the game quite yet, we've put together a full list of everything that we do know to help you prepare for the game's release later this month. Resident Evil 7 will release on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on January 24th, 2017 in North America and Europe. The game will release 2 days later on January 26th in Japan. The VR version of Resident Evil 7 will be available exclusively on the PlayStation VR system for PlayStation 4 for the first 12 months of release. At this point in time, the PlayStation VR system is the only confirmed virtual reality device expected to support Resident Evil 7. This may be a disappointment for many Resident Evil fans, though we wouldn't rule out the possibility of the game appearing on other VR systems until Capcom states as much. Resident Evil 7 forgoes the more open environments that have become so well known over the past few titles, and instead returns to its roots, taking place in one smaller area that is divided into different sections. The game takes place at a plantation home located within the fictional town of Dulvey, Louisiana. Unlike previous titles, players won't be playing as a highly skilled and expertly trained soldier like Chris Redfield. Instead, they will take on the role of Ethan Winters, a regular Joe searching for his missing wife. Ethan doesn't have any weapons training, so don't expect him to use any high-powered weapons like rocket launchers or grenade launchers. Resident Evil 7's biggest trait is that it takes fans back to the way the series used to be, before survival horror was replaced with action shooter. By focusing on a smaller area for the setting, players will feel more immersed and terrified of the things around them. Dark corners and hallways will permeate the game, pushing the survival horror aspect back to the forefront of the series. Fans should also expect to have less ammo than seen in the previous games, with Resident Evil 7 echoing the original games more than the last few main entries in the series. The developers decided to design Resident Evil 7's story around the first-person perspective because it allows them to add more immersive features and moments to the game. By removing the third-person perspective and focusing wholly on putting the players in the character's eyes, the developers can create more compelling content that will help drive the story's immersive qualities higher. This is probably one of the most asked questions in the community at the moment. And to be honest, nobody outside the development team really knows. If you've played the first hour demo, then chances are you fought the strange creature in the basement of the old house. Since the demo isn't part of the game, we can't really say as to whether or not we can expect those types of enemies, or if the game will go back to the classic zombies that fans loved in the original. Yes, there will be DLC. Capcom has already stated that the game will feature 4 after-release DLC packs, which will hold all their own chapters and stories. Fans can already pick up the game's Season Pass via their respective online stores, including Xbox Store, PlayStation Store, and Windows 10 Store. There have not been any official reveals of the content included in the upcoming DLC packs, but we do know that the content will all be available before the end of the year. The Bakers are the mysterious and evil family that resides within the broken-down house that Ethan stumbles upon. Not much is known about the family, but we do know that they are especially demented and evil, and that Ethan will go through quite a bit to survive the madness surrounding their decrepit old home. Resident Evil 7 is poised to take the series in a completely new direction by taking the game back to its survival horror roots. When the game releases later this month, fans will be able to dive into the gory goodness of the next installment of the popular series, and experience the horrific story surrounding Ethan Winters for themselves. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check our description for more Resident Evil 7 content. And for more content like this, be sure to head over to primagames.com.